folks. Welcome to Contributor Meetup. Feel free to make yourselves at home while we give our community members a few minutes to arrive. Thank you all for being here. Hey, Danny, how are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being here.
It's really nice to be here.
It's good to have you. Hi, Angela. It's good to see you again. Hello, Laura. Great to see you in your sunny spot. Welcome, Miles and Sean and Leaf. It's good to have you all here. I hope you enjoy our music.
Yeah, absolutely loving the music.
I'm glad you like it. Hey, Julian, thanks for bringing the dance moves. We appreciate that.
It's pretty much one of the last times you're going to see me dance, but yes, I'm doing that.
The first and the last all at once. I'll take it.
I mean, dance in Zoom at least. Maybe you'll see me dance in person one day, but Zoom dance.
Okay. Well, anybody else who wants to join Julian in a Zoom dance, please feel free. We're going to dance for a couple more minutes while we let all our friends arrive.
We should do like a sun salutation or something like this at the beginning of these Zoom calls. I think it'd be a good way to. By the way, Laura outside. I like that.
Yeah, bringing nature and
had to do it.
I connected now. Cool. Okay, and are you in? Oh, you're now in the Catskills, right?
I'm in Kingston.
Nice, beautiful. It looks like it's as beautiful there than it is here in New York. Cool.
It's so lovely. Yeah, I had to be outside for this.
Good idea. And thanks for sharing the sunshine and the leaves with us all. We can all use a little bit of nature in our eyes and brains as much time as we spend behind these screens. All right, we got a really good group going here, and we're going to give just one more minute for some folks to show up, and then we will get going with the Unlock Contributor Meetup for the month of May. There's Chris Carfey. He's an important person for us to have. Chris is one of our team members at Unlock.
Hello.
Hey, Chris. How are you today?
I am quite well. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for being here. All right. I think we have a critical mass of our community members here, and it's absolutely wonderful to see a big group of people, new faces, familiar faces, and I want to welcome you all to the Unlock Contributor Meetup. I'm gonna stop sharing my music now since we got our grooves out of the way for the morning or afternoon or evening, whatever time zone you're in. So this is the Unlock Contributor Meetup. We do these once per month, and it's a showcase of what people are building in the Web3 space using Unlock Protocol. So thank you for being here. And as we progress throughout this hour, please feel free to unmute yourselves and say hello, wave your hand, ask questions, interject your thoughts or comments or whatever you like. So we want to make this very participative and interactive. And we have two presentations today. Mankins, who will present his integration of Unlock and Monetize Link and Notion for those who are interested in the Notion integration here. And I'll be our second presenter as well as our host. And I'm going to show you all what I've been building for our community, a community called Climate Frens using Unlock. And since I've been saying Unlock so much, I want to ask Julian, the CEO and founder of Unlock, to just say a little bit about what is Unlock? What is Unlock Protocol?
Absolutely. Welcome, everyone. Really glad to see so many familiar faces and then new people as well. Unlock is a protocol for memberships. It's an easy way for creators, communities, brands to mint their own membership contract. And the membership contract is where they specify the price of the membership, the duration of each membership, as well as a bunch of other things. And then our contract make it easy for people to build application that would token gate, as people say often, but like change their behavior based on whether the current user is a member or not. So an example that I give all the time on my little blog, I've got a membership. Some of the articles are free for everyone. Some of the other articles, you need to be a member. You don't have to get a membership right now. But what I do, which is I think pretty cool, is like, I don't know if you see these little icons at the bottom here on my screen. These are a subset of the members of my blog. So the fact that the membership exists in a contract is decoupled from any specific platform, means that I can bring these members or their avatars, their icons, to any kind of application and brings their states to any kind of application. So there's a membership on my blog. You can read some of the content. You can also be displayed as one of these. I also have a private Discord server where only my blog members can come exchange information. And it really is the idea of, again, decoupling the membership from the platform and saying, a creator, if you're a fan of that community, you're a fan anywhere else, not just on the single website, whether it's YouTube or Instagram or any of the others. Cool. And with that, I'm giving back the mic to Tim.
Thank you, Julian. Thanks for explaining that for us. And with that, let's go ahead and do a couple more housekeeping things. Like I mentioned, want to make this interactive. So if you have anything while presenters speaking, please feel free to use the raise hand feature. In the bottom bar, there's reactions, and you can press on raise hand. That'll let us know that you want to say something. And I'll use the other reactions too, like the party or the thumbs up or the clap, if you want to express any emotions without unmuting yourself. And also feel free to use the chat. So the chat feature here in Zoom is open if you want to drop questions there, as well as if you happen to be in our Discord, we'll try to keep an eye on the general channel in the Discord server for any questions there. And with that, I want to hand it over to Matt Mankins, who is going to do our first presentation of today and show us what he's built with Monetized Link, Unlock, and Notion. Take it away, Matt. You're on mute, just so you know. The classic Zoom intro.
Minor detail. So good to be here. Thank you so much for that intro. I'm here today to talk about 3 different technologies bringing together that I've been working on for about the last few months. It's Notion, building a paywall essentially with Notion. A new idea, I think. And then, of course, we're using Unlock and introducing a new technology called Monetized. So super excited about this presentation and the history that led up to it. If you want to contact me after this, I'm Mankins on most social media, Mankins on Twitter, Mankins at Gmail, Mankins on Discord. So feel free to reach out. With that said, yeah, what are these 3 tools? So Notion, Unlock, and Monetized are these tools that we're bringing together in this integration to help you make money from locked content. And that's a super exciting thing. If you're not familiar with Notion, Notion is a tool to help you make content. It's a super cool no-code collaboration tool that many people use to publish content. I know Unlock uses it. I know I use it for my company. It's really a super easy to use CMS. And it has just about everything in it, except for the ability to have paywalls. So with that, it also doesn't have anything to do with blockchain. And that's sort of where Unlock comes into this story. Unlock is going to help us lock the content and token gate it, as Julian was talking about before, taking the locks that you create over in that ecosystem into the Notion ecosystem. And then the final new piece is Monetize, which is a tool that I created for this integration that provides an interface layer to help you make money from content. So we'll talk about that a bit more. But these 3 things together are really integrated in a unique way. And that's what we're talking about today. So I know you guys probably know a little bit about Notion and certainly a little bit about Unlock, but since Monetize was new, I wanted to touch base on what it is. It came from this idea of a monetized link, and the website is actually monetize.link. A monetized link is as if a tiny URL and a paywall were smushed together. So it's this amalgamation of these two ideas into one technology. And really, it's about no-code payments and earning money from your existing content. So take your existing content and then pay for it however your members want to be supporting you, whether that's email or web monetization, credit cards, or now with Unlock. Great. So how does this work? Basically, if you're not familiar with Notion, it looks like the left-hand side. So this is a Notion blog post. And then on the right-hand side, you see that Notion post inside of Monetized in a paywalled state. So it says this content is available for purchase, Unlock to purchase it. And the way that this works is we've introduced a new concept in Notion, which is what we call the Payline. So everything above the Payline is a preview for non-paying members, and everything below the Payline is something that only paid members can see. In this case, we've also included some extra information about the lock associated with this paywall. And we'll see more about how to configure that. So when you click on that button, Unlock NFT, it'll bring up a screen that looks a little bit like this on the left. You would go through sort of a traditional lock purchase flow with MetaMask. When that flow completes, then you're an owner of a key that gives you access to that content. And so you'll see something that looks a little bit like on the right. It says below is premium, and this is the unlocked version of that page. Cool. All right. A little bit about the Notion Payline syntax. This is really the only new thing that is new with the integration on the Notion side. So essentially what you do is you add a divider, and then you write either paid monetized or paid unlock and the lock address. Those two things are the way that we then tell Notion that the screen is divided up into these two premium and preview sections. And with that, let's look at it in action because it's much more fun in action. All right, so show of hands, does everyone know what Notion is? Who's used Notion before? How about that? Okay, great. If you haven't used it, I really highly recommend looking at it because it's a really easy no-code way to get data onto the web. And so here I have something that I lifted from the Unlock website and have added this Payline right here. Within, let me show you what that actually looks like for an end user. So I put it into Monetized, and then within Monetized, we're loading that Notion page. And if you wanted to purchase it, you could start purchasing, and it would go through that sort of flow that you might expect. I'll cancel that for right now. One of the interesting things about Notion is that you can actually update it in real time, and it will publish those updates right away. So I've added a few more exclamation marks right here. Within Monetized, we don't have that concept. We actually have a concept of publishing. So this yellow area right here is the publisher view, and we'll dive into that in a little bit more. But as soon as you make a change and you want to publish those changes, you have to press this refresh button and then update that and make that available to the public. So as soon as you do that, then this incognito window over here is representing an anonymous viewer that can then see the change. So it's a little bit like you might expect with Notion, but with just a little bit more going on. So that's pretty exciting, but I think maybe more exciting might be to see what it looks like to start from scratch and to log in from the top. And in this monetized link website over here, if you're logged in, it'll say dashboard. If you're not logged in, you can press the login button. Once you're logged in, though, you'll be taken to a page like this that you can go and create a new page from Notion. In this case, we're going to go through the process and just kind of create a new page from inside of Monetized. To do that, we'll just go over to my Notion, and I'll just create a new page here. Hello, Unlock. This is a demo preview. And then I'm going to put the, let me do that a little bit slower. I'm hitting the dash key a few times, and it's creating a divider line. And then I can type paid and then monetized, and that will be the divider, the pay line between these two parts. And then this is a premium section. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go up to share and copy the link of my new Notion page. This account over here is brand new, so I'm going to copy that page into the new page that we did. And it's going to detect that I don't have an integration up and running. So it's going to ask me to actually log in. So I'm going to do that now. And it's going to say, please allow this. And we just have to make sure that the page that we just created is available. So we'll say allow access. And once you've done this, this is the integration that you do one time. You don't need to do this again. So here you can see it's pulled this page that is actually a private page. It's not actually even shared to the web. You know, if we world unlock, if we actually update this, it'll update that. So that's pretty cool. Now, this is a paid monetized section. So, you know, this is maybe not as exciting for the unlock world, but to add an unlock capability to that, you can click on the advanced button here if you haven't configured it yet and press on the unlock protocol. And this will show you the new unlock syntax. If you already have a lock, it'll load what you're connected with and load that. Otherwise, you can create a new lock. So we'll create this lock just for this demo lock and set a price. If you wanted to set a ERC20 token, you could do that here. I'm going to then create this lock. And it's going to go through the sort of standard unlock creation things, doing all the magic that the community probably knows about. The interesting thing is once that's created, we can then go over into our unlock dashboard and reload that page. And after a minute here, we can see that, or maybe we'll come back to that in a second, but should be there in just a few minutes once the graph gets updated. So now that we've created the lock, I can save this page. And it says, do you want to use this lock? And we'll say yes. Here's the lock address. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually update our Notion page to the unlock syntax. And we'll just copy that here using network ID and decimal 4. And so once we've done that, we can reload this and get the freshest data, and then we can publish it. So now what we've done is we've taken content from Notion, put it into Monetized, set up the OAuth and Monetized to link it up with Notion, created a lock in Unlock, and associated that with the Monetized page. And now we'll be able to take this page and open it up in a new browser like this one. And you can see Hello World Unlock. This is a demo preview, and then see this content is available for purchase. Let's start the purchase. And we'll confirm. So this is the end user view of this. It will then mine that transaction. While it's doing that, we can go back and see if this is loaded yet.
I was going to play a bit of music when it mines, but it was too fast.
Is it done? No, not quite yet. Yeah, there we go. And so this is the premium section. So we've, we've basically unlocked this for us. And if you wanted to create new content, you could certainly do that by creating a new page. And then rather than creating a new lock, you could go and find the locks that you already have and create another one with that. So yeah, I think that's sort of a very brief overview of all of the pieces involved. I know that there's quite a bit of pieces, and I'd be happy to sort of go slowly at any one of them if we have any more questions about any of them.
Honestly,
Yeah. Applause.
I have one little question. I mean, actually, I'm sure I'm going to have many. Can I have only one premium section per page right now, or could you have multiple premium sections where you have multiple locks, basically?
That's a good question. Right now, there's a concept of one premium section per page. Yeah. Okay. But that's a cool idea. I think the syntax gets a little bit trickier there, but yeah, if somebody wants to do that, there's certainly no reason that's not technically possible.
And the reason why you went for the Payline, which I think is a great term here, I love that, is because Notion, and I'm not familiar enough with their API, but don't have an API to create kind of custom blocks or custom objects. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually just the easiest thing for an end user to do that visually, you can sort of just do right away. I think one of the challenges of this integration was actually the Notion API changed quite dramatically over the course of the integration. It started out and there was no private API, and so we ended up hand rolling that. And then over the course of that, they made some things public and official. So we kind of redid that a bit. But I think that it's evolving quite a bit right now, and I think there's still quite a bit of room left for improvement. So yeah. I mean,
there's always room, but it's incredibly smooth. And the fact that you went all the way to actually implement the create lock UI is I think you're the first integration that I've seen that does this from the get-go, and that's brilliant. Like, it feels like it's really, really smooth. That's the point of the protocol, right? It sits under the hood. When you create a web page, you don't have, I mean, you used to have an HTTP logo or an HTML logo. You went all in on like building the application on top of the protocol, and that's exactly the way it should be. And so I'm really grateful that you've done that. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I must say that there's actually a pretty technical reason. Loading the paywall in incognito mode was not possible. The JavaScript unlock one. So because of the local storage. And so I was like, this is so frustrating. I'm just going to do it myself. So you told us, but yes, that's a very good point. Yeah. That's maybe something.
No, it's fine, because I was like, it's okay. This looks easy. I'll just do it. And I'm really glad that I did it, because not only do I understand it more deeply, but I think that you're right that integration really shows you how the core of Unlock is able to be put into various different UIs.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Matt. We have a couple of folks who
Yeah.
have asked questions in the chat, and I want to give those folks a chance to unmute themselves and come on, have their voices in the conversation if you'd like. Jack, do you want to ask your question about multiple options to payment?
Sure. Hey guys. So this is fantastic. And I was just curious, can you enable more than one payment option per post? So can you have credit cards and the unlock enabled?
You can actually, and this is, so here, because I'm controlling the interface inside of Monetize, it's Monetize that does that. And so we use the Monetize credit card, which is Stripe, and not the same Unlock credit card. So just, it's not going through Unlock Inc. in that case. But also we have support for web monetization, which is a completely different standard and a very different way of supporting content. And then we have the ability to unlock or ungate via email. So the Monetize by itself has all of these sort of payment options built into it. But yeah, you can do all three of those. You cannot use the unlock credit card, but other than that, the end user capability is there.
Very cool. Thank you.
Sure.
Awesome. Thanks for the question, Jack. And I think Miles' question might be a nice follow on from that. Miles, do you want to ask your question about the Monetize layer?
Yeah, thanks everybody. Great stuff, Mankins. So I'm just a little confused on why the monetized link is even introduced and why it's necessary and why an unlock can't be just added to Notion natively.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I wish that it could, is really the answer. But Notion is, or I was not able to find a way to accomplish that within Notion directly. They provide a really good API for accessing the data, but the typical way that you add new features onto Notion is you take that data and put a new interface on top of it. So the very popular site Super is an example of how this is done right now, to allow Notion content to be on your own domain. And we basically took that same approach and then used their CMS to be the sort of CMS layer, and then used Unlock to be the entitlement layer, and then Monetize then becomes the interface layer. And each of these layers actually does a really different task. So I think theoretically Notion could do this, or theoretically, well, I'm not sure. Yeah, theoretically Unlock, the company at least, could do something like this, but this was the only way that I could see to get the integration done.
Got it. Thank you.
Matt, this is really awesome. I mean, kudos to everything you built here, especially as a just example of what's possible on Unlock protocol, especially the create flow. I mean, I don't know if you saw Julian, my faces because you were doing your thing. We're both like, whoa, create flow into this too. There's another great use case with Guild XYZ that we refer to as a native application, kind of layering on top of Unlock protocol. So yeah, I mean, just love to see that. This integration is timely. I mean, just over the past 2 days, I'm in a couple of groups like CPG Pop and as well as Friends with Benefits, and I've seen people ask about token gating Notion. What is your distribution strategy for this? Or if people want to test it, try it out, where do you suggest they start?
It's completely free from a monetized standpoint. So we actually, which is kind of interesting, we don't actually have a business model for making money other than the UDT tokens, longer term. But from an interface standpoint, you can go to monetize that link, sign up, press the new post via Notion button, add the Payline, and start using it right away. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, that absolutely answers the question. I think there's some alpha there too, in terms of get in now and test this out.
Yeah, totally.
As we're all learning. So no, thank you.
And going back to your question about the business model, so UDT, some people know this, but like every time there's a new key NFT being minted, there's new UDT being created. There's new UDT being distributed, basically. And so Matt, I assume in his implementation, has done it so that he or his company receives these UDT as the referrer. And that's exactly why we built the referrer, is to say, hey, anyone who uses the protocol should get a seat at the governance table. And I know a few other people in the audience here have integrated Unlock as well on some of their application. And I think that's the case, that they are earning the governance token because they should get, again, a stake in the protocol once they use it. It's almost like every time you use the web, you should have a little bit of a saying at the WTC to be able to say, hey, you know what, I wish HTML did this, or I wish HTTP did this. It's, I think, the right way of building protocols here. And going back to your monetization question also, if you want to create a premium version of monetized links that is actually, behind an Unlock membership, I think that would be very meta and work very, very well. So you can create like the premium monetized link, and you need to unlock that membership to access some premium features. I mean, that's kind of a
yeah. I mean, we actually,
idea,
I hadn't thought of that. We actually already have that. It's just done via Stripe at the moment. So yeah, that's totally something that we should do. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And I know there's a bunch more questions. I think Sean had questions. Oh, you muted, I think.
Maybe you're connected to something else.
I think he's working on it.
How about now? Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome. There we go. Peace and blessings, you all. Yeah, thank you for that, Matt. I really appreciate the presentation and what you've been able to implement with Unlock and Monetize and Notion. I've been a long-time Notion user since like 2018, and I've actually been kind of looking at this. I actually spoke with Chris maybe in January about implementing Unlock through my website and a couple of other use cases. And I've also really been trying to expand on what's possible with Notion as well. And there is a couple of questions that I have in this regard specific to your platform, but I also wanted to ask first, have you all ever heard of Charmverse? Is that something that you all are familiar with? No? So
how do you spell that?
Charmverse, CHARMVERSE.
Okay.
And Charmverse is something that I stumbled across because, I was searching for a solution similar to what it is that you're providing. And they essentially created like a DAO structure platform like Notion, like it's a Notion workspace, like a decentralized Notion, essentially. And
Cool.
It's very interesting because they do have like, NFT gated content and bounties that you can put on particular things. And I thought it was a very interesting use case. However, it completely decouples itself from Notion, right? So it's its own platform based on the fundamentals of what Notion can provide. And, naturally that can cause some discrepancies, especially for someone like myself who's been a longtime user of Notion. And, I start to depend on a lot of the updates that come to that particular platform that may not be realized on this other platform. So your use case actually solves one of those issues for me, because I can actually stay within the Notion ecosystem while introducing some of these Web3 components and allowing the token gated access to the developments that I'm doing inside of Notion. So that might be something worth looking at. I had spoke to the Charmverse team, and Yeah, maybe I tried to see like, hey, in an ideal world, this is something that like yourself and Charmverse and Notion could all join in together, and Unlock, right? Could all join in together and actually make something truly fantastic for us all. But that's a really idealistic, perspective on it. Who knows? It could possibly happen. But outside of that, I guess I do have a follow-up question to, I know Julian asked about having multiple payment gates on one page. And I guess this might be a similar question, but would it theoretically be possible to create an in-between section of gated content on a page? Say like you have your free content up top, the paid section, and like a footer, right? Like content that you would typically put on a Notion page that's just below all of the standard content.
Yeah, I mean, we have actually considered this use case in something like buying a ticket. You might have very different user experiences, user flows that you want. So before you buy the ticket, this is the price, this is the date. But after you buy the ticket, some of that information isn't as meaningful, and so you want to kind of hide and show it. At the moment, this integration doesn't allow that, but to someone's comment about the Notion API, there are ways that you could override this and add some sort of metadata to to each of the pieces that could theoretically make this possible. I think I would want to just have a use case to go through to implement rather than just kind of make it up. But if you have one, please reach out and let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess like the way that you phrased it helped me to clarify that. I guess what it is that I guess I'm seeking is conditional visibility. I'm sure some of y'all are familiar with the platform called Notion. I use it all the time for like my web developments and the website that I set up as well. And I know Unlock kind of directly integrates with that. And they do have a function within their CMS that allows for conditional visibility that kind of like can shift the conditions based on if something is unlocked or a condition changes on the page. So yeah, that's I guess a more structured way to verbalize that. The use case that I had in mind was something as simple as the footer itself. Really, I do have some other use cases that could theoretically be included in that, right? Like if I had one particular like shop page, for instance, and there's like several different things, but each section has its own additional payment options, right? Or additional features that can be unlocked. That's relevant to its own section, but not necessarily relevant to the section below it. But yeah,
we use something called Shiro permissions. That is a string-based permission system that could probably really easily be adapted to this and have that metadata even stored within the lock or the key. So yeah, I see a path to implementing that. So yeah, really cool question. Thank you.
Gotcha. Awesome. Okay, yeah, and I believe that's all of the questions that I had. So thank you again.
Super. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate you bringing those questions up and speaking and joining the conversation, giving other people stuff to think about. And Mankins, thank you so much for that lovely presentation. If anybody has any more questions for Matt, please feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll see if we can get to them at the end. We'll try to do a quick Q&A before we wrap up at the hour. Since we're past the half hour, I'm going to go ahead and start our second presentation, which I'm going to share with you today. Very grateful to be able to not only host today, but also share some stuff that I've been working on for a community called Climate Frens that I have been running for the past year to support people in their climate journeys. And yeah, go ahead and start sharing and show you what we got. Okay, should be seeing my slides on pitch.com. Can I get a thumbs up from Matt if you see that? Yeah, okay. All right, so Climate Frens started as a Web 2.0 community, and we are shifting this year towards Web 3.0 and considering becoming a DAO. So here's a little bit of a timeline just for context. In May 2020, I came up with this idea and started talking about it, and took about a year to start actually building it with no code tools. And that's an important point. Like, everything that I'll show you today has been built without writing code, because I'm not a developer and I don't write code. And it's one of the most magical things to me that I transitioned from this NFT collector to an NFT creator in a matter of weeks once I've discovered Unlock Protocol and started using it. So after building V1, I switched from actually a website built in Notion to a website built in Webflow last August. And now, 2 years after having the idea, we're bringing it to Web3. So what are we building with Unlock? Really simple things to start out with, but the functionality and the possibilities that these simple mechanisms unlock are pretty great, and they just keep on expanding upon themselves into the future. I don't think I've thought of all the possibilities that we could do, but we're starting with the mechanisms of Poe App NFTs. POAP stands for Proof of Attendance Protocol, and I put it in quotes because when we create these NFTs through Unlock, it's not using the Proof of Attendance Protocol, it's using ERC 721 smart contract, as opposed to the smart contract that's specifically associated with Poe Apps. If you want to learn more about them, there is an organization called poapp.xyz that you can go to them and use them as a service to kind of have them create Poe Apps on your own. But what's beautiful about using Unlock is you can create them yourself, and you can have control over when they go out, and you can airdrop them to your community members, and you don't have to depend on another service to do that for you. So those Poe Apps, in our context, we use to, one, recognize and reward participation in the community, and two, kind of doubling on top of that, actually acknowledging and rewarding participation in other communities, other climate communities that we're partnering with, that we want to kind of encourage our community members to take part in, all with the same goal of being good to the environment and having positive, healthy climate journeys. In addition to the Poe Apps, we're also using NFTs for membership. So today, we have everybody who's a Climate Frens membership uses a username and password, and in the future, those are going to go away, and they'll just use their wallets, and their wallet will allow them to get into Discord or wherever else we host the community, and also be able to automatically assign roles based on their activity in the Poe Apps that they've earned through their participation. Those will dictate the roles that they get in the community. So showing a little bit about the Poe Apps, I mentioned that these are used as a recognize and reward. I'm going to jump into, first, I'll show you, like, I created a guide. So if anybody's interested in doing this yourself, you can go to a new guides section. This is, I'm actually on the staging site right now, but it looks the same if you go to the public site right now at unlock-protocol.com/guides. And this is a step-by-step instruction with screenshots and take you all through the process of doing what I've done. But so this Poe App, we've done two. One was kind of a generic and used for one of our general meetups. And then the second one, we worked with a professional artist who goes by the handle of Space Lab to create a Poe App for participation in our recent Earth Day event. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like from the Unlock dashboard standpoint. Here's the Unlock dashboard. This is where you create locks, and I've created the Earth Day NFT Poe app here. I set the duration for forever so that they never expire. Here you can see that 8 of the 20 that have created have been minted. Since they're Poe apps and they're intended to be given out for free, the price on them is 0. And then if we go over to the members section, you can see that, oh, let me move my, uh-oh, I'm not logged into, I'm gonna stop sharing real quick just so I can grab my password.
Good hygiene, good hygiene.
I swear I was logged into that earlier, but I guess MetaMask is doing its job and not keeping me logged in for too long. Okay, we're back. You'll also notice that I'm connected here to the Polygon network. So let's see if I refresh. And I sign, that allows me to view all of the NFTs that I've airdropped to those folks and all the addresses. And in order to do that, if I wanted to airdrop another one right now, I would just open that. I would put the recipient's address right here. If I wanted to, I could add multiple recipients at once. And then I would hit airdrop them and they would go to those people's wallets. So it's as simple as that, literally no code written. Now back to this one. So I also want to show you where these show up once they're minted.
Quick question. On chain,
yeah.
does this show it as airdropped or will it say that it was transferred?
It would say as transferred if I'm correct. Julian,
Okay.
is that accurate?
It's basically transferred, it's minted, so it's transferred from the address 0 to the address of the recipient.
Got you. So whenever you see people with the like the parachute icon next to their on-chain details within OpenSea and some of the other Web3 NFT platforms, is that due to the fact that it was minted and then went from null address to their address, right? If it goes from null address to the contract address, then okay, that makes sense. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, if Tim scrolls a little bit, we'll see the icon, I think. Maybe up, I don't know. I think they show some, maybe click on listing, expand the listing thing. They would show normally like when it's above. They show where it's minted. No, damn it, it's weird. Okay.
I think it's
normally they show like minted.
I think it's under item activity, and it's probably just, I'm gonna assume it's just waiting to gather data from probably Etherscan or something.
Oh
yeah, it takes a minute sometimes. But I was just curious because I never, I've seen people do different airdrops, but I was always wondering. Well, I had a theory that the reason why certain ones had that like airdrop, association, and others just said transferred was based upon whether or not it was minted or prior to being transferred. And I guess if it was went from null address to the holder address, then that makes sense. Okay, I guess the collector address. So yeah, okay. Makes sense. Well, am I thinking about that the right way? Am I thinking about that wrong? Is that off?
No, I think you're thinking about it correctly.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thanks for that question and clarification. So that's Poe Apps, and the next thing I want to show you is membership NFTs. So again, moving away from this clunky old mechanism of username and password to one simple identifier and being the address. I'll show you, let's see. So right now, if you go to Climate Frens website and you want to get a Web 2.0 membership, you would go through the flow that's powered by Gumroad, and you would use a credit card. Right now, also, if you knew about this secret page at joinclimatefriends.com/NFT, you could actually come down here and mint one of the very first Climate Frens NFTs ever, because I'm the only person who's ever gone through this process. So right there, if you click it, it takes you to the checkout flow through Unlock, and I can connect with my wallet. I can pay with credit card. And since I've already purchased one of these, I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm going to show you that it has been purchased over here in my keychain. Let's see. So another element of the dashboard is the keychain. Any NFTs that you've actually purchased or been airdropped to your address will show up right here. And so you can see I have the Earth Day Poe app. In this wallet, I don't actually have the membership, but if I switched over to my other wallet, which is right here, then you'd see the Climate Frens membership right there. The really cool thing about this, someone mentioned earlier, guild.xyz. So this is the guild website, and this is a guild for Climate Frens. And what I've done here is set up access to our Discord server. So if I get back to Discord, I'll go over to Climate Frens. You'll notice we have the bot right here, and you can join Climate Frens. And when you do that,
I think you're not sharing, Tim. You're just sharing. Yep, that's okay.
Sorry. My screen share actually is only on the Chrome window, so you didn't see what my Discord window just now. My bad. Let me see. Let's try this again. Okay, so here's Discord. You can see in the start here, the Guild XYZ bot is installed, and you can connect your wallet right there and see that I do have my Climate Friend member or my verified role. And the cool thing about Guild is you can set multiple requirements, and you can do and or functionality. So I've used or, so that any of the different types of NFTs that we've minted as a community would get, if a member held any of them, they would be able to get into our Discord. So if you own the membership NFT or a Poe app NFT or the Earth Day Poe app, any of those qualify you. And if you hold those in your wallet and you come to climatefriends.xyz and get to our Discord, you get in. So that's that. Get back to my slide deck. Here's the integrations where you set up this in the Discord settings. So you go to settings, integrations, and you have your manage button down here where you can define everything that happens with Guild. And one more thing that I wanted to mention, the magic of all of this, as I alluded to earlier, is what do we do with this membership NFT? Well, I mentioned I'm working with an amazing artist, and this is a sneak peek that no one but me and the artist have seen until today. So congratulations. This is a view of a draft of what's to come for the Climate Frens membership. You'll notice there's two different versions, and that's because the NFT is going to be dynamic. And whenever during the daytime, if you view your NFT once it's in your wallet, you'll see the one on the left, and during the nighttime, you'll see the one on the right, which is really, really cool. And then, so back to that partnership thing. So if you partner with, say, one of our climate communities that is focused on rewilding Earth and bringing pollinators, reestablishing environments for pollinators, habitats for pollinators, then you might earn a Poe app for that achievement. And that Poe app could get dropped to your wallet, and it could be, let's say, a fun image of a bee, right? But then at some point in time, we'll update the metadata for all the NFTs. And if you've earned that Poe app, then in your daytime NFT version, you'll have a little bee flying around here, right? And then you could do the same thing if you compost, for example. You might earn a little worm NFT that's crawling out of the ground, and so on and so forth. Your imagination can take you from there. So that's that. That's the current and future of our memberships. And this is just a little rundown of the tools we're using. I also wanted to note, because I've talked about Discord, we're currently running our community on Circle. And in case anybody's looking for ideas of what to do and like how to make other platforms more useful and Web3 friendly, I went to the Circle community and I searched for token gating, and this is what I got. So they are interested in token gating over at Circle, and there's, I think, thousands of communities hosting with them. So might be something to check out if you are looking for ideas and things to build that would be popular. So let me get back to my pitch. Yeah, gonna check out Monetize because Notion is what we use for our docs. And also I didn't mention, but it's in the guide that I shared, that we host our art with Pinata. So the next steps are to, Julian's working on adding the Cello network to Unlock, which is especially environmentally friendly, and that's the one that we're gonna use primarily. So far, we've been using Polygon because it's a little more environmentally friendly than the Ethereum mainnet. And also, we're gonna customize our smart contract so that when someone purchases a membership NFT, the UDT token earnings get split between Climate Frens and the purchaser, so that Climate Frens treasury accumulates unlocked DAO tokens, and we're going to be active participants in the governance of this protocol. So that is my presentation for today. We've got about 4 minutes left in the hour, and if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them about what I shared. And if you have any leftover questions for Matt, this is the time to share that as well.
First of all, thank you very much, Tim. This is a very good presentation. I'm really excited about seeing the dynamic NFTs. Like, you know, I have a little passion for these, and I'm really excited to see the bees show up on the day-night thing. I think that's a brilliant idea. Definitely excited about the Circle integration. So if anyone is interested in this, that's something that, you know, is grant worthy. Maybe Matt didn't mention this, but he applied for a grant from Unlock and actually was approved for his grant. And I think a Circle integration might be similarly, you know, appreciated. I'm not part of the grant committee. Amber on our team is actually the one managing this. And she's here pretty often, but this is definitely grant worthy. And again, like the idea of Unlock as a community-driven protocol, like not something that we own. Unlock Labs, as I sometimes say, Unlock Inc., but Unlock Labs owns is not the point. The point is to make sure that everybody who uses it, who depends on it in some way, should have a say. And we're definitely not willing to ask to behave as a kind of as a middleman, as a gatekeeper, as a blocker, as something that, I mean, as someone or as an organization that you have to go through to deploy this. So if anyone is interested in deploying, you know, a membership on Circle, I think that's a great reason to apply for a grant. But yeah, no, excited about the Climate Frens, and definitely Cello is high on that list of things. So it's going to get there. Clément has done some code today to make it available.
We're patient. We're patient. No hurry. Anybody else have any questions or comments or stories they want to share about their own work in this field of Web3 NFTs memberships? Nope. That was a good awkward silence. I think we gave it enough. If that was awkward enough for everybody else. Well, awesome. We have 1 more minute, so it's perfect.
I was talking, I was on mute, my bad.
Oh, sorry. Isaiah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no. So one of the music NFT artists that I work with very closely, he's dropping his project next weekend. One of the challenges we had was that they wanted to, you know, for those who would not be able to attend his listening party in real life, you know, he wanted to, you know, allow them to stream it virtually. And so, you know, it was interesting. I've been like, you know, sharing different things with him within the dev community that I've seen in Web3 that I thought, you know, developers should know, like, well, people outside the dev community should know about. And someone from, you know, the Polygon team has been, you know, very active in his creator DAO, invested in it. And when we were talking, he got shared, I guess, Mankins platform, and he was like, well, you know, why would I use Mankins if I can use Unlock protocol? And I just had like this proud moment as a as I feel like as a technical coach on that end. But no, I mean, honestly, it gives kudos to, just the Unlock team in regards to like how you guys have been marketing and speaking about the product, because it just really clicked for him, that whole membership NFT, access point. I think one of the things that's, just dope about it is seeing like, people start to embrace some of the stuff that, the Unlock protocol team has been preaching for years now. So yeah, no, just really excited to, see people starting to, go beyond just some of the turnkey solutions and starting to embrace some of the ones that have a little bit more technical difficulty, or I guess technical barrier of entry, but give the artists a lot more creative freedom and control. So yeah, super dope.
Thanks, Isaiah. Thanks for being around the community and for sharing it with others and being a coach to your friends. I'm sure they appreciate that as well, as much as we do.
Yeah, no, shout out to y'all for the update. That website update y'all made it like pretty much a lot easier to explain. The link was like, it's like it made it, I didn't have to explain it, share anything. It was just like, it all explained itself. So yeah, no, kudos to y'all.
Awesome. I'm sure Chiali, who helped design a lot of that, will be happy to hear that, as well as Chris, who's in the crowd and led the charge on that redesign. Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, to be respectful of your time, we'll wrap it up and let you know that this recording will be on YouTube today in case you want to rewatch it or share it with your friends. And we will be back here next month at the same date and day and time for the same reason. We'll have more awesome presentations and we'd love to see you here.
Yes. And I want to give a special thank again to Matt and to you, especially team. This is probably the last one that you're running, because you're going to move on to other pastures soon. Well, hopefully you will find someone that can fit your shoes. It's going to be big shoes, but I'm really grateful for the work you've done with us. So thank you very much for everything you've done with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, Julian. It's been a wonderful honor to be here, and I'll still be here in the crowd watching new presentations. Oh, one last thing. Everybody here, if you filled in your Ethereum address on the registration, you're going to get a Poe app today. And if you didn't, then send me a DM and we'll get you one. So I'm Tim Falls on Twitter, or you can send it to the Unlock Twitter account, and everybody's going to get a special Poe app to illustrate how awesome these things are and how they can be used to reward and recognize participation in communities. Have a wonderful day and week, everybody.
Thanks all.
Thank you.